mine. I got in trouble on one time. This group came after me because I said Marjorie belonged to me.
And they said she's not a possession. She's a person. She's a human.
She is. She mine. What is you talking about? She belonged to me, but I got news for you. I'm hers. I belong to her. See, if you don't like that system, carry your punk ass on. Go do something else and let me know how they work out for you. I want to belong to somebody.
Right.
I want somebody to belong to me. I take care of my wife and my family. Got in trouble on one time. This woman was the difference maker in my life. My wife. When I married Marjorie, man, it changed the game for me. Because for the first time in my life, I was at peace because she made me good with who I was. She kept telling me, you're a major TV star. Don't believe this here. Steve, you look good. You can do this. You're talented. You're the best. And I had a peaceful home. I had never had a peaceful home life before, man. I was coming home. I wasn't sitting in the car looking at the door for 3 hours, scared to go in there. You know, you probably might have been in something like that before. And this woman came along and gave me peace. You can't lose yourself in a relationship because you're going to miss you.
Yeah, that's
At one point in time, you're going to go, wow, what happened to me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to be by yourself to collect your thoughts.
Yep.
It's an overwhelming thing, especially if the other person is making you feel responsible for their happiness. That's a toxic relationship if you have to be responsible for somebody else's happiness.
I've got 3 boys and 2 girls. I had never had problems disciplining my boys. I got them straight at a young age. But my daughters, I have this rule. I never put my hands on them because I don't want them to think it's okay for a man to put his hands on them. So they kind of take advantage of that, I think, and have me wrapped around their fingers.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you have any advice as a father of girls yourself on disciplining your daughters?
No. Ain't got nothing for you, player. Sorry about that. I got 4 daughters. I've never spanked one of them because I, too, didn't want them to equate a man's love with physical abuse. So I've never hit them. They've taken full advantage of it. I'm completely and totally wrapped around my daughter's fingers. I give them everything they ask me for. I've never turned them down. I've bought them everything they've ever wanted. I've traveled. I bought horses, cars, houses. I have ruined my daughters. All 4 of them girls is spoiled. Here's something you all gotta hear this, and you gotta hear this from a guy. This item that you keep putting this price tag on, I'm gonna make it memorable. I'm gonna make it so he gotta come back. Let me tell you something we all sit around and talk about. It's all the same.
You can go anywhere to get the lies, but I know you came here to get the truth. Welcome to the Alphasphere. Welcome to the Alphasphere, the only place on the planet that's totally engulfed in positivity and totally submerged in alpha energy. I'm your host, Dr. BOA.
$1,700 left. This was after the reason you lost everything twice.
Yeah.
In 2005, you had $1,700 left. This was after Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
You got $1,700 after you made, what, like $30 million on that tour?
Dog, we made more than that.
What the hell happened to the money?
Yeah. It's called a divorce. I got jumped on, man, but it was even before the divorce. Cause, not gonna say who did it, but they got in cahoots with my financial planner. And I was writing checks to the government for 7 years, writing tax checks, signing the tax checks, giving them to turn in. They was keeping them, taking the money out the account like I was paying taxes and keeping it for themselves.
A few moments later.
It ain't 50-50. If you're married, it's 85-15. The woman get 85, you get 15.
You know, when I talk about Steve and Marjorie Harvey, before I can get into the conversation good, it always turns into this comment attack from people who just don't want to see things for what they are. See, a woman probably has a checkered past, So she's in the comments applauding Steve Harvey for giving a woman with a checkered past a chance. That's why I don't listen to what women say, because they function on emotion. Most of the times, the things a woman cheers for are things she wants, or things she can't get, or things that seem unrealistic to her for her life, so she lives vicariously through someone. So all of these women with these checkered pasts and all of these bodies and all of these babies, they look at Marjorie Harvey and they're like, yes, if Marjorie can do it, I can do it. The problem is you can't do it. And Marjorie shouldn't have been able to do it either. So the rumor that she's had an affair with Steve Harvey's bodyguard, which is, that's a totally different ball game altogether. But the fact that this has taken place and is rumored to have taken place, you must understand that Steve should have known this. Here's a woman who was with one man, had a kid with him. That man got jammed up, did some prison time. She went and got with his cousin, had a kid with his cousin. He got jammed up. Now, I want y'all to think about the type of environment a woman is from in order to do that. Both of these guys were D-boys, which means both of them were heavily involved in the narcotics trade. When you think about this, and I do not mean the pharmacy at your local Walgreens. I mean street pharmaceuticals. So for that to be the case, this woman is from the hood. This only happens in the hood. Because a woman going to the plug, a woman who used to be with the plug going to the plug. Art imitates life. You look at the Scarface movie. The woman was with Scarface's plug, with his boss. He broke off on his own. Him and the boss had a thing. The boss was gone. He went and got the woman, and the woman left. Why? Because the woman wants the lifestyle. Steve Harvey only got the woman because he couldn't even provide an equal lifestyle to the D-boy. He had to provide a better lifestyle. So why would she not go and be with his bodyguard who has a past as a P? She likes street guys. When you understand that you are not anything like a woman's preference, yes, a woman will get to the point where she'll try to balance it, where she like, okay, I want a street guy, but I want a street guy who's smart enough not to do dumb street stuff. You know what I'm saying? She want a guy with that urban edge, but she don't want a guy that's so dumb he gonna end up going to prison. But even with that woman, she's likely to still dibble and dab with the guy who might go to prison. Why? Because he's a hothead. He's a firecracker. He's an explosive. So they can just, he's something that can't be predicted. It's just you never know what's gonna happen. But a woman like Margie and a man like Steve should have known he was never the one for Margie. If Steve didn't have more money than those guys, he wouldn't stand a chance. If she had to do with the same amount of money as a D-boy, she would just went to another D-boy. Steve had no chance. The woman doesn't like guys like Steve. She likes guys with money like Steve. And one thing she realized is ain't no D-boy gonna be able to get the type of money Steve got. Because before he gets there, he's gonna end up in the penitentiary. So to say that it's surprising that there's even a rumor floating around that this woman had cheated with the bodyguard with the past as a P. And also being a bodyguard from the streets, he'll let that iron fly. He that type of guy. This is what if a woman wants that, she'll never stop wanting that. She'll never stop desiring that. And it gets to the point where in a perfect world like Margie's world, she's got a simp like Steve who's going to pay all of her bills, make sure she's straight. I'll give you everything. You don't have to ask me for nothing. That's Steve. He will give her everything. I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. He'll give her everything. And then there's another guy over there who won't give her nothing but a backbreaking. This is what happens when you deal with a chick from the hood and you ain't got no hood in you. This is life for a man like Steve. And you hear a man like Ricky Smiley saying, I want in my life what Margie gave Steve. So what you want is a woman who likes somebody that you're not, but will let you take care of her. Let me tell you something. If you got to have a woman in your life who motivates you to work your fingers to the bone even when you start getting up in your 60s so you can take care of her, man, you don't want that in your life. You want a woman, man, that's in your life that's trying to contribute what she can. She'll live in a tent with you if she have to. That's what you want. And that's not what Margie is to Steve. So when you hear a man say he wants that, he don't know what the hell he want. And he'll never get what he want. And damn sure won't get what he need. Too busy being envious of what he thinks another man has. And what he has is a woman who has an affinity for a man with the characteristics that Steve does not possess. And if not this bodyguard, some bodyguard, some urban cat, somebody, some rapper, somebody. You understand? Somebody's gonna intrigue this woman. And unfortunately for Steve, ain't nothing he could do about it because he legally married her. And now he's stuck with her and her children by two cousins. By two cousins. There's no woman who respects herself that's gonna have two babies by two cousins in the same city, in the same area, in the same hood, man. The man that married a rat, dog. I don't know the woman personally, but she has the actions of a hood rat. And Steve is one of those square guys who got caught up on that hood energy. Probably ain't never had no woman that was attractive before then. And we saw his first wife, probably a great girl. But I'm going to be honest with you. She was not that great in the looks department. Matter of fact, she was bad in the looks department. Same thing with Russell Simmons. Same thing with Russell Wilson. We saw what his wife looked like before. Compared to Sierra, comparing Sierra to her, come on, man. It's like comparing a big body Benz to a Buick. Even if you like Buicks, you ain't gonna trade your Benz in for one, I can tell you that. So we just gotta remember, man, the reality of the situation is what it is. And Sierra is another one who likes guys like Future, guys like 50. Russell's not that. Eventually a woman gets to a point where she wants that man right there who's going to be a provider. And any man who is a provider for a woman who prefers another type of man, your wife is cheating on you, man. If she's not, she will or she has already. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on Marjorie Harvey. Maybe I'm being hard on Steve. Maybe I'm just hard on Ricky. Maybe I'm hard on Russell. Man, you know what? Maybe I'm being toxic. I don't think so. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.